Manchester United, what's going on, Martin?
Nothing.
We're just appalled at how much you suck up to bet MGM. Must be to do with that show you do with them.
It's communication.
I'm talking about you.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Sorry. I was still flying back from Riyadh there. Bournemouth beat Manchester United at Old Trafford by 3-0. Simon, you saw them the other night. I mean, you're not mincing the words at the moment. They are rubbish. Manchester United, straight, you say, no good at all, rubbish.
I'll define anyone to contest that. They're poor. I mean, I think Ruben Amorim will get to grips with it. And he's looking at personnel to see who can do what he wants them to do, but not a lot of them can. And the challenges that he's getting is they're getting cut through, they're getting made to look poor. The result against Spurs was a flattering of Man United, because that was never a 4-3 game. It could have been 6-7-0 to Spurs. That's how bad United were, and Spurs felt the need to give them a helping hand, a charitable Christmas gift from Tottenham Hotspur to make it look like a compelling quarter-final cup when it wasn't.
Yeah.
And Bournemouth have ripped into pieces.
Well, they did. They won 3-0. Again, lost out to a set piece. Under Amorim, Manchester United have won only 2 of 6 Premier League games since he took charge last month. They're now 13th. You know, you have to think maybe Ten Hag wasn't the problem after all. Or was he? But what's Amorim up to? And how can he solve this? He spoke post-match.
The responsible of everything is me, is not Carlos, so it's on me. And we are a team. We are a team in the good moments, in the bad moments. We have a way of doing things. We are working on that. We are going to improve on that also, but we didn't lose because of set pieces. We lose because we create more chances. We didn't score, and then in this moment everything against us. They can score like against Tottenham. We create a lot of chances also. It is a difficult moment, but the responsible is me, not Carlos.
You know, Martin, when you consider what we're seeing now, Ten Hag did well to win a couple of trophies, didn't he?
Yes, but what we are seeing now is what I look at, and I think is a system failure. I had a really close look at, by the way, before we start, Bournemouth, absolutely magnificent the way that they played, Jim.
Yeah.
The way that they press, they've got a manager there who knows absolutely how to play. 2 fullbacks snarling, I really was impressed with the way that Bournemouth plays. So we get that one. We'd like to give them some credit. Sometimes we home in on Manchester United too much and their ineffectiveness. Let's do that now, but let's first of all credit Bournemouth.
Right, home in United's ineffectiveness.
Back 3,
now.
2 in midfield. So what they tried to do yesterday was Bournemouth had the ball at the back, and they've got 4 defenders. So basically, their front 3 need help from midfield to go and press. But what they do is they clear out their midfield to do that. So they push both midfield players high up the pitch, and there's nobody then sat in front of the back 3. And once you get in behind them and you beat that press, you can just run through their midfield. That's been happening all season. Now, that does not work. As a former player playing in that system, you didn't like it because on the sides, you can be outnumbered. So often the way that Bournemouth played, they had 3 players in wide positions, a fullback, a midfield player, and then the wide right player. So they're all over the pitch, Jim. They are outnumbered. And they just looked like they're going backwards. Now, this might be a case of going backwards before they go forwards, but the players at the moment don't understand the system, and the back 3 becomes a back 5. Everyone gets pushed back. You can do better, though. You can use your wing backs to go into midfield, as we saw Switzerland do, to really good effect. For aficionados who've been watching what people do in that system, you can take a wide player, a wing back, and put him into midfield. But Manchester United are not doing that. They're getting exposed, Jim, and they look second rate. And now the manager, who's virtually on his knees in that dugout, has got real problems.
On his knees already? I mean, you're talking literally.
Well, you see him every time he goes into this squat position as if to say, right, they're not taking it on board. I need to change. Does he need to change the system? I think he's a massive advocate of this system. He shows from his last club that it can work, but it's not working with the quality of player that he's got right now. I
mean, Simon thinks he'll change it eventually and get it right. Am I right?
But he forecast this. He signalled what was going to happen. He said, we're going to suffer. We're going to have some challenges and people are going to have to bear with it. And he said that very early. I don't know if he said it after the Ipswich game, very early in his tenure. And what he's doing is he's trying to find out who can do what he wants to do, who can lead, what characters they've got. And he's prepared to throw away individual games. He doesn't want to lose games. Nobody wants to lose games. Nobody wants to be sat there getting beat, by the way, the same result that Ten Hag got served up on him last year by Bournemouth. Having been there for 2.5 years. So I don't think the answer was, if Ten Hag was the answer, I don't know what the question was. So I think Amorim will change it. I think he's being slightly bold in his preparedness to put certain players into play that clearly aren't able to do the job, to see if they can, if they can't. And we'll see how it pans out over the course of this season. This is going to be a difficult season for him.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how he changes things, if he's allowed to change things in the summer. Because there's plenty of players in that Man United dressing room that don't need to be there anymore, including Rashford.
And on Rashford, what's your take on it, Martin? Has he done the right thing? I mean, Amorim says that he needs to see a reaction from Rashford if he's to bring him back. Well, that's fair comment, isn't it?
Well, look, Rashford, we know is a great talent. We don't really know him, Jim, really, behind the scenes, do we? What's gone on? And is he kind of overthinking the situation? Because I think he's been unprofessional. And I think what the manager's tried to do is he's tried to change the culture, so he's taken him out. And then when he's looking for a reaction, he gets the wrong reaction. He goes to the media, he goes to the press. When actually he wanted him to suffer so that he could come back into the fold and then give more to the team. So the player hasn't reacted in the right way. The grass looks greener for Rashford elsewhere, but this is his boyhood club. This will be, if this goes wrong for him, Jim, I think he's going to look with regret in years to come. The current day player, when you're playing, it looks like the career is going to last forever. It doesn't. It's a short career, okay? What he needs to do is wake up. He needs to wake up, smell the roses, and walk back in and say, "Okay, I'll do whatever I can do for this football club." He's taking everything. He's taking everything
Henry
personally.
Winter was saying to us, and I don't think he knows well enough to be able to make this observation, but he did make the observation that it was Manchester United that were forcing this initiative. It was Man United that was forcing Rashford out of the door. Would you subscribe to that view?
Who was the journalist?
Henry Winter, players' representative in this instance.
It doesn't matter what Henry thinks. He's been clever enough to get him when in a weak moment to go and talk. Okay, so we'd be eating out of that for the rest of Christmas. But the right thing to do was for the player to button it.
Absolutely.
To do his talking on the pitch.
Agreed.
Keep your mouth shut.
Agreed.
Keep your mouth shut and go and play your football. We know there's a good heart there, though, Jim. We know with the. We do, with the school meals and the things he's got involved in. Now it's a part of being professional. Now come back to the football club.
I don't think it was a weak moment on Rashford's part when Henry spoke to him.
Yeah, I think it was. I think
Rashford offered up what he offered up.
Well, he's running for the hills when actually the problem he's got now will only manifest itself at another club.
I don't think Henry put the thumb screws on him. I think Rashford wanted to sing like a canary. I think he wanted to serve out his own agenda, and Henry just happened to be Johnny on the spot.
Well, I would actually blame the people then around him, and maybe the people are too close to him. Maybe you ought to have somebody that's a little bit neutral in all of this. Maybe family members are getting in the way.
Apparently, it was a coordinated interview that should have happened a week earlier. But
family become emotional, and that's what's happened. The professional thing to do now is get his head down and get back into the fold. His club needs him.
But the biggest takeaway from this is this shows you the decline of Man United. That a player thinks he can say what he said to a journalist without any kind of coordination with the club, without any kind of thinking of the ramifications of it, because that player is bigger in his own mind than the club potentially. And that's where Man United have declined to. It would never have happened in previous regimes. And I don't want to hark about the past, but big clubs really don't have their players talking out like this.
No.
They don't allow it. It's not tolerated, and the players wouldn't dare do it.
Well, Amorim has to expect the unexpected and make sure that he puts his foot on this and that no one's going to the press.
He's waking up to the reality of managing Man United, all that goes with it.
What's the reality of Manchester City at the moment? It was once a rarity, Manchester City losing. Now it's become a habit.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.